Hello, welcome in. I am back to cover yet another year of storms. For me, as someone living in the United Kingdom, I started with 2023 and then did 2024. Now it's time, a little bit late, but we're here to cover 2025. 2025 was not the most exciting year for me. I got plenty of storms, but they weren't exactly very memorable, but I'm going to cover them here anyway. As always, I suggest that you turn your playback speed to 1.25 times speed or something around that, just because this is probably going to be quite a long video. I remember last year I said that I would try and cut it down a bit and make it shorter, and then I proceeded to make it even longer somehow. So this year I'm genuinely gonna try to be a bit quicker to save everybody some time. So yeah, we're gonna get straight into it. So I've got a Discord chat that I put all of my weather related stuff in, and the Blitzertung historical map data, and we're just going to get right into it. So we're starting here in January. We had some activity in January, some really solid stuff to be fair, and then we kind of skipped towards the end of March, and here we go. So this was the 22nd of March. This is the earliest storm I've ever had in a year. Here I say I wasn't expecting much, but there was potential. Let's go to Blitzertung and check it out. I'm going to head over to, I guess, 12:30 and go a 12-hour loop. So I am about in this area right here. And you can see a little bit of activity there, and then a storm pushes in, and then it gets really active right over there. And I think that main activity is what I was able to capture on that day. Well, really, it was night. So yeah, you can see me talking about the earlier stuff, being off towards Bishop's Throne, which is a bit too far out the way, and then off towards Alcester as well. But then, as it got darker, around 8 o'clock, I was able to get a storm. So yeah, I mentioned the pulse storm potential. And then I freaked out about how early it was in the year to have a storm. I didn't mention, just before I started recording here today, I was literally right about to press record, and then I got a ping on my phone that lightning was happening. So I'll go to NetWeather and show you. But, give me the radar. Where's the radar? This was popping off some lightning, and so I ended up going out and trying to see some lightning. It didn't happen. It died off before it got to me, but that was that was quite interesting for that to happen. And it's the middle of February, by the way, so I'd hoped to reset this record. Didn't happen though. Anyway, I'm already yapping. So here is some footage I was able to get from that afternoon. Some pretty impressive stuff considering middle of March. Surprisingly active storm as well. Here is the radar loop. You can see it really just builds on itself, not moving very fast at all. And this is about when it got active. And some screenshots from Windy as well, if it will let me go back, showing just about where the lightning was. I've got some music playing on this video because I didn't have any music on the last videos, and I thought it was a little bit bland, so hopefully this spices it up a bit. Okay, and we're moving into April. Nothing really happened in April. We had a nice cyclone off the Australian coast. Some more pulse storm potential, didn't quite come into fruition. We had the first Handry high risk. I mentioned in the last year's video that Handry is about my favourite forecaster since Convective Weather retired. I think he is the best in the business at the moment. So I take his stuff very, very seriously, his forecasts very seriously. I I think I considered chasing, but yeah, I don't think really anything happened. Unless, until. So yeah, what ended up happening is I went to Hereford. So here was the outlook on the day. So here I am here in Tewkesbury in a big moderate risk that extended all the way out towards Northampton, but I was more interested in the high risk, which is mostly in Wales and very, very far west in England. So I thought I'd head in that direction for the best odds. And then it updated. The moderate significantly decreased in size, and the high shifted a bit more east. So Hereford was just on the outside of the high risk. Here I am over here in the moderate risk, no, enhanced risk, sorry. And yeah, so I was doubting it. NetWeather was doubting it. And yeah, I think I talk about, yeah, I was in Hereford. I was doing some photos, so it wasn't just for storms. But nothing ended up happening while I was in Hereford. Then I got back home, and I got lucky, to put it simply. I got very lucky. I was out having dinner at a Chinese restaurant with my family, and I was like, I've got to go, there's a storm. And here is some footage. I don't know if you can see lightning there. Sometimes Discord compresses the videos and the frames get lost. They get lost, and yeah, no. There's the flash. So yeah, again, nothing exciting, just distant flashes. But, of course, any storm is awesome for me. I take anything, considering where I live. We don't get many impressive storms. And again, some screenshots of the radar and the lightning maps, because I find that just as interesting to look back on. Again, typical pulse storm kind of scenario, where it doesn't look very impressive and then it just explodes, and then just as quickly as it comes, it goes. Here are some screenshots from the videos I took. I think I skipped past these when looking at the videos, but yeah, I think they were like the later. Oh no, let's not do that. The later ones, yeah, the later ones were better. I realised I don't have my arrow on the left here. There you go, that'll help. So yeah, let's move on. We were about in the middle of May, and it was looking very interesting indeed. This is some windy screenshots and some various outlooks. And we're at the 11th of May. Decent moderate risk to my west. Again, I'm just about here on the edge of the enhanced. Again, Handry outlook. And then the day after, on the 12th, it was looking really, really promising. Big high risk right over me, well, on the edge of me, but it was looking very promising. But we're still focused on the 11th. Not much happening today. Very common theme is that I'll say it's not looking good, and then it happens. And yeah, look at this tiny little cell shooting out some lightning, and I make myself laugh. Yeah, boom. Definitely the best show so far up until this point. I love night storms so much. They're always Usually better than daytime storms, just because you see it all. You just see so much. I apologize if my mic's cutting out when I'm moving between videos. I don't know why Discord does that. I guess that was thunder. Some screenshots. This one's particularly cool. And yeah, just showing the size of it. And the progression of it moving towards me. Convenient timing for it to explode. Well, I say explode, it didn't really explode, but it became active, I should say. Alright, and then we move on to the 12th of May. If you remember my 2024 coverage video, the 12th of May was, in my opinion, the best day of the year for me. It was 2 very active, strong, maybe severe storms with some crazy CG. And then, exactly a year later, we had considerably, or potentially, opinionatedly, I don't know what I'm saying, potentially, the best day of the year. Again, 2 years in a row, 12th of May was absolutely fantastic for storms. So here was the Handry outlook on the day. High risk over Birmingham, down to Worcester, Stratford, all the way into Wales, past Newtown. And the moderate going all the way to the coast. A big, big, big risk area. Here's Hoko. Here's the net weather outlook. So it started just past midday around Oxford. And let me tell you, things exploded. Things really exploded. Henry updated his risk, I think, and it was expanding the high risk to make it much bigger and also pushing it east, down towards Luton, or Luton, I don't know how you pronounce it. But I was well in the high risk. And this is how it looked on the radar, only 2 hours after it began. Just so much activity, so much activity. Oh, you know what I didn't do in the last couple of runs? Look at the goddamn lightning map. My bad. Let's go to the 11th of May. 2 hour loop, I guess. No, 3 hour loop, I guess. 6 hour. There it is. Very short-lived, very short-lived. And then we go to the 12th of May. And we'll go for the 12-hour loop. Just watch how quickly it all blows up. Like, come on. Just insane. And the way that it all kind of hovers around London and the rest of it pushes towards the coast of Wales. Crazy, crazy stuff. Watch it one more time. Just explodes across the country. It's mad. So this day I ended up chasing because, of course, I ended up going north. And I kind of regret it because, again, if you remember me pointing out my location about here and then seeing where the storms go, did it pause? I think it paused. Yeah, it did. Yeah, a lot of it went right over Tewkesbury. So I potentially missed out there. Let's go to where I actually cover the storm. So yeah, I went to Pershore, and yeah, if I go to NetWeather, I might be able to point it out. No, there's too much rain, but it's about here, just a little bit east of Worcester. So about a 20-25 minute drive from where I live. But I wanted to go more north because that's where it seemed like most of the storms were going. So yeah, I parked in a football field. I probably wasn't allowed to park there, but oh well. Here is what I recorded. So at this point it was right over me. It was a little bit scary, but I didn't see any CGs at this particular spot, which is quite lucky. And then I moved, so Pershaw's just over there. You can see the cathedral, whatever church, Pershaw Church. I moved a little bit out the way to get a more open view as it moved past Pershaw, and then a good view of the upcoming storms. And I got some CG right there. Here are some screenshots from inside Pershaw, that first storm, that particular CG, and then a wide shot. And of course the radar. So this was while I was in Pershaw. You can see me parked there. You can see all the lightning over Tewkesbury. So yeah, I kind of regret moving from Tewkesbury at that point. But is what it is. I still got the storms. And here you can see this first kind of wave of storms, and then the second wave that's approaching. So I decided to stay where I was and wait for this storm here. You can see that first storm after passing, and the approaching storm. Here we go, Storm 5. So yeah, what ended up happening is that it passed over and not much really happened from where I was. It didn't go right over me this time, and I was missing a lot of the action. I think for a while it was mostly cloud to cloud, but then it started dropping some CGs. And again, yeah, right over Tewkesbury. So I would have been better staying exactly where I was. But it is what it is. Some photo of the cumulonimbus in the distance. Again, it's not like super impressive. It's got the anvil shapes, but it's not like a huge anvil. Here's some footage. I don't know if you can see the lightning in this one. I think Discord, there's a bit of a faint flash. See that one on the left. And some screenshots. Yeah, so you can see my position here in Pershaw, and where all the lightning was is right over Tewkesbury, basically. So, my bad. My judgment isn't always the best when storm chasing. There was this insane shove cloud over Dublin, of all places, which was really cool. And yeah, so that was the 12th of May. This is the next day. Nothing happened in the end. When is the next storm day? Obviously this was now the middle of summer, so a lot of opportunities, but nothing came about until... Wow, it really took a while. I remember this day, this crazy storm that impacted the southeast and much of France. Wow, that was a big gap, huh? Huge high risk on the 21st of June. And that was the day that we had these probable supercells. We had also a few tornadoes. You can see the hooking of these storms that resulted in what we believe to be a few tornadoes. Hopefully going to the Toro convention in the spring of this year, and I assume they will talk about these storms. Wow, did I miss a day? Nope, here we go. Storm 6. This was the 20th of July. So the whole of June, for me, was a bust. Which is unfortunate, but not particularly uncommon either. Okay, so... yeah, you can see me kind of celebrating there. So this was another pulse storm situation. Let's go to Blitzertung. 20th of July. This was just after lunch, I think. Let's go for the 6-hour late. Nope, I'm bad at predicting things. Let's have a look. So I think it was this first little bit down here that I got to see, and then there as well. So, you know, I missed out on the main action, but I got some lightning. So this was just recorded from my home. Can we see any lightning? That might have been thunder. Oh, that is a video. Not seeing any. Again, this is Discord compression being a bitch. Was this just thunder at this point? I don't know. I didn't go over everything before recording the video, because that would take a while. And yeah, you can see it was like right next to me. I guess I didn't get any screenshots of any lightning. That's a shame. And then Storm 7, actually the same day. So we got a second storm. Another pulse storm, which isn't particularly uncommon for me either, to get 2 pulse storms in a day. Let's have a look. Yeah, so I went round to my dad's house, and, you know, as everything was wrapping up, this last storm, let's see if we can get that again. This is quite late. Oh. So I think that's this right here, I believe. And as you can see, last storm of the day, and this, in this video, was the last lightning strike of the whole day. And I just so happened to catch it, and that was the only one I caught. So I was very happy about that. Again, you can see, looked pretty intense for a minute there. A couple of lightning from it, and that was that. Got a bit unlucky with some other pulse storms. Big event in the southeast. And luckily, it looks like it was not only the southeast that ended up getting action. Let's see what it was like for me. This is about just before 3 o'clock. Let's get a 6-hour loop. Yeah, it looks like it started right over me. And then kind of popped off in the southeast. Yeah, so this was when I was at a music festival. Luckily, I wasn't actually over at the festival. We were at our caravan, and we were watching the storm on the radar. This one here, approaching us, or maybe it was a little bit over here. This one here, I don't know. But something was approaching us, and I was like, you know, in a good environment, this would be a really strong storm right now. But luckily, it managed to gain some energy and give us a good show. And I think this might have been the best show of the year, to be honest. Storm number 8. And yeah, also you'll notice I mention a possible funnel. We will look at that in a sec. Discord, go away. Very faint flash. Very faint flash. Nothing. Very faint for a minute. It gets better, I promise. Boom! There you go. That is the main show. And I think I just missed this one. Yeah, I think there's a nice big bolt off to the left here that I just missed. And one more over here. Probably thunder. Here are some screenshots. Yeah, I was really happy with this one. Didn't see a whole lot of close CGs in 2025, this was the best one. Right over the caravan, right over the main area where the festival is taking place. Luckily, it didn't strike the festival grounds, otherwise that could have been catastrophic. Again, some more screenshots. Up there at top right. And the storm moving off into the distance. And the screenshots. Yeah, you can see it really did kick off right over us. And then get really active as it moved towards Gloucester. Here you can see it gets active really quick. Wow, strong really quick. No lightning in it at this point, despite its appearance. But then when it gets to the, kind of our area, it seems to tap into some energy, and that's when it kind of blows up. I don't think I posted the funnel cloud video that I got, or I think funnel cloud, but I will show it in a bit. This is the 12th of August. Hadn't even posted anything between that and the last storm. I did manage to see a very distant storm. Let's see if we can see which one that was. This was just after midnight. There. Pretty sure it's that. And yeah, I looked at the video. You can't see anything, so I have the screenshot. It's this here. That is the lightning. I promise you that is lightning. Discord didn't show it on the video. It's too compressed. But yeah. When is next? I had a couple of days where I was really pissed off at Worcester because it had pulse storms literally right on top of them. It's like the same photo, but these are completely different days. Okay, Storm 10, the 3rd of September. This was pretty early in the day, wow. Let's go to 3:55, 1:55. See if the 3-hour loop. Yeah, Storm's fired up early that day. So I think that might have been this here. Let's have a look. Yeah. Alright. Yeah, I was planning to chase on this day, but I ended up staying home, or staying local at least. I went to a little local field, and got lucky. It wasn't right over us, so didn't see a whole lot. Mostly just flashes. And then not too long later, I think... Yep. So it all started with this massive system that was pushing north. 7th of September. This was 4:44. Let's go to 4 and go 6 hours. Actually, let's go 12 hours and just watch it track. So here you can see it start just north of off the coast of France and push all the way through England. One more time. A very impressive system. It looked a bit sketch for a second there. It looked like it was dying right as it was getting towards me. I was doubting it from the start. But then I was looking at this, the way it was expanding eastwards. and picking up in activity. Then it looked like it died, and then it picked up again to my west and over Bristol, and it was still very active down the south. But eventually, when the last of it passed over, I was able to get one lightning strike. I was at work during this, by the way. Okay, Storm 12, the next day. This was just after 5. Yeah, surprisingly active day. What did I see? Yeah, it could have been either of them, really. It could have been absolutely either of them. Let's see. A totally unexpectedly active day. Numerous single-cell multicellular storms tracked over Western Wales. I went over to my favourite place to watch storms, which is a local field. Look at this view. Gorgeous, gorgeous storm. Bit of a wider shot of it, and this is what I managed to capture. One more CG. And there's another one there. Again, fairly distant. Oh, so I saw both of those storms actually that I pointed out. So this is the first one up towards Ledbury. Again, bloody Worcester, getting all the storms all the time. Even got them today, earlier, the one I mentioned. Worcester had it. Hate them. Hate them. They're the worst. Okay, and the last storm, Storm 13. And that was when I tied 2025 with 2024 as the year with the most thunderstorms that I have recorded. So yeah, after leaving the first storm, Storm 12, I could hear thunder from the newly growing one. I ran home to the other place that I watched storms that looks east, because the field that I watched this storm is very good for looking west and south, and also north. And this field is good for looking west. So I went over to that one, and just before it died off, I was able to capture a couple of bolts. Yeah, there's a flash. Blew up right over Cheltenham. And that was that. So that is all of the storms that I was able to capture in 2025. And you can see nothing really else happened after that. It was just fully dead for the rest of the year. Here you can see me kind of rounding things up at the end of the year. And so this is the potential funnel cloud from Storm 8 that happened over that festival that I was at. You can see it right in the middle here. I don't know if it is. I didn't see any clear rotation. It just has the look. It has the ropey look. And it was accompanying a storm. So, you know, it's possible. I sent it to Toro. They didn't get back to me. But yeah, I feel like it could have been. Certainly could have been. If so, the first decent funnel cloud that I've seen. I still haven't seen a guaranteed funnel cloud. And again, I know what a genuine funnel cloud looks like when I see one. This one, it's like it could be, but there's not enough evidence that it's not just a scud or just an unfortunate looking cloud. I also got to see my first proper dust devil while I was at a different festival, and it ended up directly hitting me, which was quite funny as well. You can see the rotation right there going over that guy's foot. One more time. This is again the first time I've actually seen a dust devil properly. So I was really excited, and also the direct intercept. And it was really cool to see the way that it was rotating. And that is it. So that is everything for 2025 Storm season. Again, not the most exciting. I only got a couple of really exciting, CGs or anything like that. No exciting structure, which was disappointing. No shelf clouds like at all, which was really disappointing. Did have a few night storms, which is cool. And again, that Dust Devil was awesome as well. You can see the stats from last year. 7 less than last year CGs, despite having the same amount of thunderstorms, which is a shame. But yeah, here's hoping 2026 is a good year as well. Hopefully, I see some good structure this year. Even if I don't have as many storms, I'm more excited for the impressive storms than the pulse storms, So yeah, I think that just about finishes things up. Thank you for watching. Hopefully I'll see you again next year to cover this year. Take care.